Hi everyone, I'm greeting you all from wherever you are joining us. My name is Lucia Hoxa, I'm a fertility mindset coach, and today I will be talking to you about 8 ways to start healing your inner child. Now, we have been streaming about, I was doing an interview about a month ago with my friend here, and I got so many comments from you, so many questions about how to delve into this kind of work, because we've been talking about the benefits of it, like what it is really about. And then you started sending me messages about where do we start, how do we connect with a child, because we see the benefits. It's just like it's really hard how to, where do we even start. So today we will be talking about all the ways how you can start healing your inner child. But first of all, let me welcome you all on this platform. It's Saturday. We are streaming every second Saturday, and this is that Saturday where we are connecting with you all again. So I'm very excited to be here. My husband is actually right now got off the plane, and I'm very excited because he's coming home today and my kids are going to meet him. So I'm in this mood of anticipation. And in the meantime, while he's on his way home, I am finding a little time to connect with you. And I'm very pleased because, believe it or not, this streaming has not only been inspired by all of you who reached out to me and keep on reaching out to me, asking questions, but also by my own children, who I, as a mom, am now being very inspired by and very much guided by as a mother every single day. So welcome again for those of you who are joining us. Today we are talking about 8 ways to how to start healing our inner child. I do believe that this streaming is going to be very beneficial for all of you who are already searching for something, for something that can be new in your life, for something when you are dealing with, maybe you are dealing with a challenge in life, whatever area it is in, and maybe you are getting stuck. We often experience this kind of sort of stuckness, this vicious circle, like when things are really not happening, whether it is that you are on a journey to be a mom or any other challenge that you might be facing on your journey in life. This is the streaming for you, because connecting with our inner child is a tremendously powerful way to get ourselves unstuck in whatever we are dealing with. That was my experience and experience of many of my clients. So I'm very pleased that you are here, and if you're watching this, trust that this is no coincidence that you clicked to watch this streaming. So again, my name is Lucia Hoxa. I'm a fertility coach. I'm supporting women all over the world, and specifically their mind on their journey towards motherhood. Now, a lot of people are asking me, like, what do you do? Well, I don't have a magic pill, and obviously there is no, I don't have an even crystal ball to make things happen, but what I do is that I take them from where they are right now to where they really want to be in life. And one of the ways that I do that is that we together in a conversation, we are looking at those things that are not working in my people's lives, and looking at how we can create, and it's really co-creation, more harmony in their lives. Because from my experience from my journey towards motherhood, and those people who I support, who I have a privilege to be with on this journey, is extraordinary, because every journey is very different. But what I'm getting from working with you for almost 20 years now is that we all have the story. We all have the past. We all have certain kind of things that happened in our lives, and those things impacted our lives, the way we experience life, the way how we get sometimes stopped in what we really want in life. Now, a lot of times we are not even aware that we are getting stopped, or if we are aware, we are not aware why. And if we are even aware why, we still a lot of times hitting the wall in terms of like, okay, I now know the theory, I watched the YouTube videos, there's so much going on out there. There's a lot of things that we can find now to support ourselves on our personal journey, personal development journey. It's just sometimes it's not enough, you know, like no amount of knowing is making any difference in our lives. And that's because what we really need to, you know, have that quantum leap is what I call transformation. And that's not changing something to something. That is transformational work is something that is lasting. So I always use this example with my people when I say, you know, when you are trying to slim down or, you know, lose the weight, it's not about, you know, saying, you know, going, passing the fridge and saying, I want to have chocolate, 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 no, 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 no chocolate, no chocolate. And at the end of it, you're so stressed that you are grabbing and you're eating the whole fridge, including the chocolate in it. Yeah? That's not the way. It's willpower. From my perspective, it's not lasting, it doesn't work. Yeah, and I'm using example of the chocolate and the, you know, losing the weight, but it works with any area of your life. You know, I want, you know, get that employee or, you know, or colleague to drive me crazy. I won't let my mom to guide my life, to judge me. I won't ever argue with my husband about this thing, you know, and it doesn't work, because sooner or later you find yourself in a situation where you are still being crazy about what's going on. It's still not work. You in this vicious circle and it keeps on coming back. And that is because if we don't take ourselves courageously inside of, you know, this transformational process, which then means that you're passing the fridge and you feel like eating strawberries. That's the kind of work, that's the kind of relationships that we are first of all shifting and transforming inside ourselves. We know, and it's nothing wrong with chocolate, but you know, I love chocolate myself, but you know, you'd get this as a metaphor, you know, like that you are passing the fridge, but you are choosing the chocolate because you genuinely, you have a you're choosing strawberries because you genuinely have a taste and feeling like you would love to get some strawberries, and it nourishes your body and it makes you feel great. So let me know if it makes sense. This is just a little beginning to kind of, you know, explore and maybe explain a little bit about how I work. Yes, yesterday I had a questions like, Lucia, how many of your women that you coach on fertility, they actually get pregnant, how many don't, and how many just kind of choose another path? And the you know, it's hard to say the numbers, but I was like kind of looking at it roughly, it's about 70% of them get pregnant. And what is even more important is that 30% of women who don't get pregnant or are either still on their journey, and it's very, very different kind of journey in terms of how they feel, how they go about good news, bad news, you know, all these journeys is got a very different quality. Their life is already in a different stage. They're experiencing things and dealing with things with so much more power and lightness and playfulness, and you know, there's already joy present in their life before the baby comes. And there is some percentage of women who, you know, choose freely another path. You know, they explored like why they want to be moms, and they realize that actually, you know what, I choose to travel the world or fulfill different kind of dreams of mine. But what is important is that whoever comes and I have a chance to support them, they in every single case, I would say 100% of people discover this newfound freedom and brand new experience of life, which which I call miraculous life, where their dreams and their desires, they really happen and they come true, which is incredible gifts. And I love to be surprised because I never know where I'm taking you exactly. This is a fun part for me, but I know I'm taking you towards the lightness, towards the joy, towards experiencing life more fully, and for you to fulfill your potential and reconnect with who you truly are. That's a real gift for me to watch even years after my programs finish. In your life it continues, really. So anyway, welcome for all of you joining us. Let us know if you're joining live. If you're joining from a replay, just put a replay in the comments. And please feel free to ask any questions. Today we are going to talk about 8 ways how we start healing our inner child. So let me know also where you're joining us from, because I know a lot of you are watching from all kind of places in the world, and I love to hear where you're joining me from, because I love to get that sense of community. And we are now global kind of. English is great. That's why I'm streaming most of the time in English, because I can reach out to because my people are from all over the world, and I can reach you anywhere, which is great to be streaming live online. So guys, any questions, let me know. First, I will start talking about this subject. I will start saying that we all have our inner child. In case you're wondering what is this inner child thing, well, we all have the inner child inside us. And is that precious part of ourselves that has always been there, and it will always be there. Now, maybe you have already done some work on your inner child, and in that case, please put in the comments like what was your experience. Maybe you've done some therapies, maybe that really was something that works for you, maybe it was something that didn't work for you somehow, or maybe it's something that you would like to start, but you see the great value of it, but you're really not sure like how to go about it. So put it in the comments or send me a personal message. I'm very happy to support you. Now, the concept of inner child, it really started with Carl Jung, who was a psychiatrist and a specialist, and he was talking about archetypes of the inner child therapy that he was using. And he was talking about like our inner child that we all have inside us still plays a very important role in the adulthood. And I mean the positive experiences we had in life as a children, as well as negative. So I'm talking about, positive, of course, that impacts us a great deal as well. And yes, of course, we want to keep them, we want to nourish them, we want to utilize all the positive, all the good stuff we want to keep, right? And all the things that are no longer serving us, we want to discover them. Like, where did it come from? How come? And they show up especially in a situations we are feeling challenged by. Like trigger points. We all have some kind of trigger points that, trigger something inside us. Normally our partners are the ones who are the perfect match for us to trigger us. Those situations where you as a woman, you react to something and you are even surprised of yourself, like, where did that come from? Like, how come I became this this nasty bitch, like what, it's like, wow. So those are the precious moments that are really good to look at with inquiry. Like, what is really going on? Because it's never over there with the person. It's always over here with us. And it's very often connected to our inner child. Now, healthy inner child in us, it's got a quality of, playfulness, of childlike joy kind of thing. And that my husband is great example of it. Like, he is still his mind, he's very visual, he's got this capacity, his inner child's got this capacity to entertain himself, like he makes himself laugh with different things he sees, like different visuals. He sometimes sees the person who reminds him of some kind of animal, so he starts laughing, and it's great quality to have. And that's a good part, right? But sometimes, and those things I'm going to be talking about a little bit more in this streaming, sometimes we have memories from our childhood that impacted our inner child in, I would say, harmful way, in a way that it still carries through the adulthood, the way we view ourselves, the way we experience life, the way we go for things or not, the way we fear certain things in life. It can be anything from going from that dream job interview, or it can be, on a journey towards motherhood, it can be experiences or conversations we remember having with our own moms who didn't trust for us to be responsible enough to be a mother, or or the conversations with our siblings who used to take a mick out of us, or for me it was experience from my kindergarten teacher who said to me, "Oh, Lucia, she's just like blah, like she's just I don't know how to say it in English, like my husband actually calls it like turkey, when you're like forgetting things, and in Slovak language it's like popleta, like she mixed up things, and that was ingrained in my mind like for so long. This little innocent comment my kindergarten teacher said to me, and just to entertain her colleagues. And that stayed with me for such a long time. And I was indeed someone who kept on forgetting keys, who kept on, forgetting, where the things are. I'm losing things, and like that, subconsciously the program was running inside me. And it was funny sometimes, but it was not funny other times. And this is just one of the things. It's not so severe. Of course, I had more. This is just an example. But it could have been, one of my clients, it was 4 sisters. And when I was going through and doing this kind of work, she remembered the moment where she was second youngest from all the sisters. And, her father was playing the cards with other guys. And, they've been drinking and smoking, and they kind of dropped this innocent comment, innocent in a, just again to entertain themselves as an adults. When she was just behind the curtain and she heard this conversation, and then one of her father's friends said, "Oh, all your daughters are so, beautiful and clever. It's just that Anna, like, she's just like, is she yours? Even if is she even yours?" And she really remember, and they all laughed, and it was innocent, right? Like it was a joke, even though for me it's not even like such a joke. But she remembered this story, and she it stayed in her. It stayed in her for the rest of her life. In adulthood, she felt very much like she doesn't belong, to her family. She didn't feel connected with her father, because subconsciously this joke, like, which was obviously not true, like, was playing in her mind. And also she never felt pretty. She never felt good enough. She became very successful, but on the back of her not valuing herself, her not feeling she's enough. She had to prove herself so hard, and on the back of it she had a lot of burnouts, and she wasn't actually very happy. She was very successful but not happy in life. So our inner child really plays a lot of the music that we don't hear consciously very often, but it is still playing that music in behind the scenes. So let's talk about 8 ways to start healing. your inner child, because that was the question you've been repeatedly sending me. So first of all, I would say keep an open mind. That's the good place to start. I mean, it's very okay to feel like uncertain about like what is my inner child, like where is my inner child, how do I how do I connect and discover it. Start being open, like noticing and maybe even sharing with your parents or with your siblings about your early experiences in life. There can be some skepticism and, at the very beginning, like, but, like, try to keep your mind open that there is, obviously our brain is like a little computer. It subconsciously records every single experience from even before when we've been born, even from the wound, like experiences that our mother had when she had us in her tummy. Those experiences still, those feelings, those good feelings, bad feelings, feelings of being scared, even like the birth, like I just recently done another regression therapy where I saw myself like few hours after the birth. It was very, very interesting. My mom wasn't there. I was crying. I was feeling scared, so it's very, very powerful to start looking at what really happened in my childhood, and how do I feel about it, what how those feelings from the childhood are connecting with the feelings that I sometimes feel now. A lot of times my clients, I ask, like, when they are going through such a turmoil, like something like emotionally very strong, like a lot of my women are going through that despair, no matter what I do, I'm finding it so hard to become pregnant. Like I'm feeling, that sense of hopelessness. And a lot of times we go back to the moments where they experience this kind of feeling for the first time. And there is so powerful because it is the same feeling, maybe a little bit different flavor and circumstances, obviously, but it's exactly the same feeling. And when we are able to look very bravely, it's not, it's not easy process, but we together, that's why coaching or therapy is so important, because you are being guided and supported by someone who is professionally trained to do this. So when we take them back to that place, we are able to discover and see, and things start revealing. It's like a flower. Things start revealing and coming out, and they internally start experiencing like real shifts and movements. And then we do some exercise and therapy afterwards. It's very, very, very powerful. So first of all, start, allow yourself to be open to look. Yeah, to look and to be in that kind of inquiry. Another tip from me is look to children, either your own children or to another children, for a guidance. It's very important to kind of keep an open mind and be in that inquiry, observing the world. And children are the best guides for us. I promise you. Observing children, the lightheartedness, the way they go about the world, the way they get triggered about certain things. When I've got twins, so in my household there is a lot of rows about the toys. Even though if we have same toys, there is always like, row about the toy that other ones got. And it's very interesting how children go about, when they don't get a toy or a cookie or something they really want. How do they operate? What's their strategy to get the cookie? The same strategy you used to have as a child, you're still using that same strategy. It's just not so obvious. it's just got a different flavor, but really internally you are going about it in the same way like you went about it as a child. You might not stamp your foot in a supermarket, but you are stamping your foot in different kind of way, maybe punishing your partner, like different version of it, like telling him off or criticizing him, or girls, what I'm talking about, yes? Because you're not getting from him what you really want. That's the in-child work, right? Looking at things that you used to do as a child and realizing that, hey, now I'm 35, 40 years old. How would that be if I choose to go about this situation being an adult now? So look to children for a guidance. Allow them to inspire you in the way they deal with things in the kind of playful, light-hearted way. Like, what if I choose to be playful about doing my taxes? What would that experience look like? Use that and apply it in everyday life. Third tip I want to give you is to, and let me know if this is giving you anything. Kristinka, let me know what you're getting from this. I would love to hear. Another tip I have for you is to revisit your childhood memories. So again, try to do a visualization exercise. Try to just close your eyes, and maybe if you have a perfume, some kind of scent that brings you back to childhood. For me, is a bonfire. When I smell with the bonfire, it brings me right back to, when I was a kid. Or I've got a perfume of my mom, which is actually, I still have that perfume. I don't spray it on myself, but sometimes if I want to bring back memories, it's there. Or it can be, some toy or a photograph of yourself. Is a great way to reconnect with your inner child and with your childhood memories, and try to take yourself back to for a trip where you used to experience yourself as a child, the memory with your mom or with your dad or with your siblings. Allow yourself to kind of daydream and take yourself back, and again, like, be open and in inquiry, like, what this kind of situation, what did I take from it as an adult? What decisions that I made about myself, about the world, about the people around me? Remember, your parents are the god and goddesses when you are a child. They are all that, your whole world, especially prior kindergarten stage, but even after. It just is enriched by peers after that stage, being in a kindergarten for most of us. But remember, when we have an experience of any kind of betrayal from our parents, father left home when you've been 6 years old or something, you suddenly saw him leaving and he never came back. That is hard for the child to process. Like, how come dad is not here? What have I done wrong? That's normally what child is asking. And of course, it's nothing to do with the child. It's the dynamics with the family. But it's really important to go and revisit those memories in order to look for, when, for example, when one of my clients had a challenge with her husband, going frequently out and having a great time with his friends, going skiing and skydiving and places. She had a really hard time to be her on her own with kids, because she was so resistant to him, leaving the house and having a great time, and she was like this victim being stuck at home with children, although he was really helping her when he was at home. She was very resistant to give him freedom, although she could also go out with friends anytime. And when we looked and we discovered that actually it is her experience when she experienced abandonment from her father leaving her and her mom, you know, we really got present to the same feeling being experienced when he is leaving the house. And of course she knew consciously that he's coming back and, you know, he's just going out for a trip with the friends. But the feeling of abandonment and resentment and arguments they used to have with him, it was from the hurt inner child. She experienced the same old feelings as when her father left them when she was 6. So it's very, very important to revisit those memories and see and start seeing it more clearly, how it is impacting us, because then we can really move ourselves from this, and a lot of things that used to trigger us before is no longer there. That's the transformational aspect of it. My tip number 4 is start doing things that you used to enjoy as a child. And that's revisiting those pleasant, those happy memories. You know, when for me it was spending time near water, you know, watching the water. Other day with kids, we've been by this low running stream of water, and you know, they love to throw the stones. And I remember as a child I used to love, you know, day by day after my tennis training, we used to go to this little river that was behind the tennis courts, and me and my friend, we used to place the stones, you know, so we can cross the little river that was there. And many times, you know, next day it was, you know, smashed and we had to rebuild it all over again, and many times we fall down in water, and you know, we've been all wet. So for me, one of the things that I love to do is to play with stones, sit by the water, find any kind of excuse. Today actually we went for a walk with kids near the river here, you know, like bringing yourself back. You know, bonfires for many of us, growing up in Central Europe is the kind of memory that we have as children. But bringing yourself back, you know, go ice skating or anything that brings you a joy that you used to experience as a child. And so what if you haven't been ice skating for many years, or cycling, or whatever it is, you know, get yourself out there. You don't have to do it perfect. Even like dancing, you know, like ball dancing or anything is you know, it brings you back to that frequency of joy. It gives you a chance to go there and then just, you know, be with that, like create it, be open to feel that way again. That is a really great experience and great way to nurture your inner child. Now, another one is talk to your inner child. Now, that can be tricky for some, especially from the beginning. But talking to your inner child is really about that nourishing, gentle self-talk to yourself. And especially for women on their journey towards motherhood, connecting with our inner child is really calling in the baby into your world. And if you're not on a journey towards motherhood, talking to your inner child gently and kindly is a nourishing yourself as a woman. As a, you know, connecting with the little girl is really nourishing yourself as a woman. And when it is the most important is just those times when you don't feel like talking to yourself this way. It's just those times when you're just about to give yourself a hard time about the mistake you made, or about the way you've been that you're not being proud of. It's very, very important to speak to your inner child, and with you connecting with yourself in this kind of way, it gives you also opportunity to listen back and to hear those little nudges. You know, it is universe, but it's really connected with your inner child, your inner wisdom that is talking, that is going to communicate with you. So if you have any questions in life that you are not finding the answers for, it's very important being in a state of meditation and practicing this kind of the regular practice of meditation and yoga is really giving us that platform, that opportunity to hear it more clearly. And being in a conversation and being guided, being supported by a coach or therapist is going to help you to engage with those conversations where you start hearing very clearly your callings, your ways to resolve the situation or to go about the situation from that space of wisdom. So talking to your inner child is very important, to give yourself a space to do so. And my tip number 6 is find, and I mentioned it several times throughout this streaming, find someone you trust and someone who inspires you, someone who is professionally qualified to take you through this journey. The reason why I'm saying this, not only because I'm a coach myself and I love, supporting you, but also, I know how powerful it is when you step up and allow yourself being guided on this journey by someone who you trust and who you resonate with. It is because us as a human beings, we often get in a vicious circle of the same old thoughts, same old actions, same old situations happening in our lives. And a lot of my clients experience this fresh new breeze of the fresh air entering their lives pretty much as soon, even like before our first session. It's really a miraculous journey where they see and discover things from very different angles. And when we allow ourselves to do that, that leads very naturally for us to vibrate in a very different kind of energy, on different vibration, where we start getting and adjusting into our natural flow. It's like coming back home to where we belong. And inside of that space, things start, evolving, moving. The opportunities start coming your way. That you start attracting very different and new people into your life. That your relationships start shifting, changing. You start experiencing the small, the bigger, the even great miracles in your life. The things that historically hasn't been changing start shifting in your world. And that's very, very powerful. So guys, please reach out. If you're feeling that this resonates with you, that it makes sense, that I'm talking your language, or many times you say to me, oh my God, the way you speak or what you say is almost like I'm hearing myself. I just never been able to put it in words. That's a sign. There's no coincidence you're watching this streaming. There's no coincidence it's attracted you to be in and to listen and to hear these words. So please don't be one of those people who wait for 3-4 years watching me, doing these lives, and then they say, oh, now I found the courage to reach out to you. Reach out as soon as you can, because the sooner you reach out, the sooner all the things can be shifting, changing and transforming in your life, the sooner you can experience and start experiencing fully the life you truly love. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know, what did you get out of this streaming? What was the new things that you would like to, that caught your attention? A lot of times I get a message from you, years ago when I had a conversation with you, that question you gave me, I still have that same question. And so please, allow me to help you to have your questions answered, because I know every single one of you is going through very unique and specific journey. And I want your journey, your life to be fulfilled, and for you to be starting feeling much more fulfilled and empowered in life now, because the life is really short and we all deserve to live the life we love. Thank you guys for watching. Lots of love to enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I will be speaking to you again in 2 weeks' time on our Facebook Live, announcing I always announce what we are going to be talking about 2 days before, so watch my news feed. I love you. Any questions or any suggestions what you would like me to talk about next, I'm open. Send me a message. I love you all.